Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Wednesday, and all of our guests today, as mentioned earlier, and that includes BMAC, Barry Macdonald, standing by. Sponsored by the BC Construction Safety Alliance. The BC CSA provides services to more than 57,000 construction companies throughout BC. The BC Construction Safety Alliance, celebrating 25 years, making safety simpler. Back to 1994 we go.
Brown, a long pass to Pavel Bure. In the clear, right in. Yeah, he scores! Pavel Bure has won it in overtime. Pavel Bure picked up a perfect pass. Stick-handled in the clear. Deep Burden gets the winner at 2:20 of the second overtime.
That was just yesterday, wasn't it?
Love it.
April 30th, 1994, double overtime. Pavel Bure playing hero for the Canucks as they advanced to those 94 Stanley Cup playoffs. And here it and the great call, of course, by the late, great Jim Robson. Tom Larscheid by his side as we bring in our good friend Barry Macdonald for the first time in a long time over there on the island. Barry, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
It's a pleasure and an honor, honestly, Donnie, to be asked to come on and salute Jim Robson. It was a bittersweet day yesterday. I think so many of us harbored the memories of Jim and his voice and his moments, and knew that his time had come. And it was a hard day. It was a hard day. I could not get him out of my mind.
Yeah.
And all he's meant to so many of us up and comers in the business, and how good he was to all of us. It was a rough day.
Growing up with Jim Robson, what do you remember about listening to his broadcasts on the Top Dog, CKNW, on the radio as a kid?
You know what, Donnie? I remember, and Dolly, I remember what we would go to as a family. My two sisters and my mom and dad. We'd go to Nat Bailey or Capilano Stadium as it was then, in the mid to late '60s, and watch the Vancouver Mounties. And sometimes my mom would just pack a dinner, and we'd sit on the hill. And trees hadn't evolved to that point. You could sit there and you could actually watch the game and listen to the game. And there was something unbelievably romantic about that. And just knowing that Jim was right there up on that roof, calling what we were hearing with our little transistor radio. That's really my first memories. And then the table was set for so many more memories. And Mark Rayholm's overtime winning goal in the Western Hockey League. They beat Portland 2 years in a row in the WHL playoffs before they went into the NHL. And then this is almost 55 years to the day, and I had to look it up. I don't have your brain or Jim Robson's brain, but it was February 16th, 1971 that they beat the Boston Bruins. It was the expansion team. And it was Bobby Orr and Johnny Busick and Phil Esposito and Fudge, and there was no chance in hell the Canucks were going to win this game. And I remember I'd fallen asleep, as many of us did. I was in grade 8, and the game started at 8, so they didn't end till 10:20, 10:30 a lot of the times. And I can remember I woke up, and they were in a commercial break. And Jim Robson comes back on the air, and he says, "The Vancouver Canucks have just defeated the Boston Bruins 5-4. I repeat, the Vancouver Canucks have just defeated the Boston Bruins 5-4. And I shot up. You're kidding me. This really. And I missed the call. Rosaire Paymont scored with 47 seconds left, and they beat the Bruins. So that's sort of my intro to Jim.
Barry, we've all heard tons of play-by-play guys, whether it's football, baseball, hockey, whatever. What made him special? The call, the play-by-play.
You know, he just had the right pitch. He had the right energy for the right moments. You could turn on Jim in the second period of a game, and without him saying the score, you would have a hunch of, not because he was a homer, because he wasn't, but you'd have a hunch how the game was going, how the Canucks were doing, how exciting the game had been before he told you what the score was. He just had a certain pitch for every level the game required, and that was his gift, along with a unique voice, he painted such a great picture. You know, not many games were on television back in the day, as we go old man here, but he painted a great picture on radio, and to lay there and visualize and listen and picture what he was describing was his gift.
He came close in '94, but I was thinking about this a lot yesterday, Barry. They didn't win a cup for him. No. And that really bothered me a little bit yesterday when I was thinking back about him. But he came close in '94, but came close. In
'94, I can remember we were there for Game 7, and I interviewed him in the morning of, and he said, "I've always prided myself on not being a homer." He says, "But I'm cheering for the Vancouver Canucks tonight."
Oh, wow!
I'll never forget that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have been very special for Jim to get there, and just listening to that clip yesterday of Linden chopped down, Messier took a run at him. That call is so good. It encompasses so much of what Jim is good at, because this was going on away from the play, and of course the puck didn't matter at that time. The Canucks had the game wrapped up. He was watching for extracurricular stuff, and he actually hit the post with his call. Right. He talked about he'll play on crutches, and he'll play with Madison Square Garden on Tuesday night. And then he goes, "The game is over," and the horn goes just as soon as he said the game is over. It was chilling to listen to that. It was hard to listen to it because you knew what happened on Tuesday night.
Yeah. We're talking with Barry Macdonald. Barry, you and I were texting yesterday. Let's get back to baseball for a second. You worked ball games, Vancouver. I wasn't aware of this. I was reminded of it yesterday by you. You worked C's games at Nat Bailey, if I'm not mistaken, with Jim.
With Jim, I guess he didn't quite scratch the itch with all those years of hockey, and it was his first year after retiring from doing the play-by-play that he decided he would join me for 8 games on Shaw, and he did the play-by-play and I did the color, and that was sort of full circle for me. The idea that I would be a 9-year-old, 10-year-old sitting up on the hill watching and listening to him, and then sitting beside him doing play-by-play or commentary, and I had to give my head a shake a few times doing that. And he was so humble because he'd been, nobody really follows AAA as closely as they can the majors, and it was hard to know all the players like he had come to know in the NHL, and he kept saying, "I'm going to be relying on you," and I was just laughing to myself. Jim Robson is saying he's going to be relying on me. Oh. Sure, Jim. Sure.
All right, Barry, it's the first time we've had you on in a long time. You look great. Tell people how you're doing.
I'm doing good. I'm doing really quite good. My tremors are really, really mild. I have Parkinson's disease, and I work out 6 days a week. They're closed on Sunday. Otherwise, I'd be there on Sunday as well. I don't have any. I can't complain. There's a lot of people a lot worse off than I am, and Parkinson's it can be a beast. I have days that are better than others, but for the most part, I'm pretty darn fortunate. I've got a great wife, Evie, and my son Brett, and stepson Eric, and my sister Trish, and a great medical staff. And honestly, I can't complain. It can be hard. There can be days where it's difficult, and people that have Parkinson's know this. But do your best to activate yourself and keep yourself busy, and good things can happen.
All the best, Barry, and God bless Jim Robson.
Thanks, Donnie. Thanks, Dolly. Great seeing you guys.
Love you, man. Love you.
But before that, one more time for Barry, his favorite Jim Robson call. End of Game 6, 1994, Canucks versus Rangers. Is it just me? Next.
McLipster over the Vancouver blue line. Richter staying on the ice. Linden has been chopped down. He's crawling towards the bench. Linden has been injured. Now he's hit again by Messier going to the bench. Messier hit Linden when he was down on his knees. The play is running down. It could get a bit ugly here in the late stages. Linden has struggled to the bench. Now he's at the bench talking to the trainer. I didn't see who hit him the first time, but Messier hit him when he was down the second time, and Sergio Momesa was really upset at the Vancouver bench. But there is going to be that seventh game. We'll hope they can patch Linden up and get him in that one. He will play. You know he'll play. He'll play on crutches. He will play, and he'll play at Madison Square Garden on Tuesday night. The game is over.
This is Donnie and Dolly, the team on check.